welcome back.
Feels weird filming again, doesn't it?
It does. From a different country. We're in Bali. We're going to take a quick break from showing you our Western Australia road trip and bring you up to speed on our latest travels. And for the next few videos, we're going to bring you with us as we live and explore this beautiful part of the world.
And sorry it's been a while, guys. We've just been adjusting to the full-time traveller life without a base or a truck and negotiating things like sleep training and the constant entertaining of our little one, Naya. But more about that later on in the video. So what's been going on with us? So we did go to the UK to pick up our truck, which for those of you who've been following along, you will have noticed a couple of things mentioning the truck that we're building, our kind of expedition rig that we hope to build out the internals ourselves and then travel around Europe in, which we're really excited for.
Yeah, and we still are excited.
Still excited. The excitement has been slightly tempered by the continuous, ongoing and very ambiguous delays.
We've lost count of how many delays.
Yeah.
We're up at the 6, 7 and 8s and I don't know.
Yeah, I have no confidence they're going to deliver it in this time frame that they've set. But for a 2-month build, we are getting close to
12 months?
Yeah, pretty much a year of waiting. And we've been back to the UK multiple times based on the timelines they've set and still no truck. So that's all we'll say about the truck for now. Yeah.
It's going to be a positive video.
Positive video. We thought we'd make the best of the situation, come back to Bali, do a bit of exploring here, and also kind of give you a rundown of the top tips of living in Bali now that we've done a couple of months and we've got another month to go. It can be quite a head trip.
Yeah.
When you first come to a new country, especially one that is radically different to Australia, England, and so on. And the big ones are obviously doing your essentials, doing your food shop, where you get groceries and so on from, how you get around, taxis, all that sort of stuff, and mopeds.
Yeah.
Daycare, which is a big one for us with little Naya at the moment. Health and wellness, doing gyms, health spas. And then, ordering food and going out for dinner and so on. So stick around for the second part of the video where we'll answer all those questions in our humble opinion for anyone considering traveling or living in Bali. Before all that, we're going to head out to do some really cool activities in Sanur, seeing little turtles and, releasing turtles back into the ocean because they've hatched. And that's going to be epic because Naya loves little turtles and her favorite toy is actually this little stuffed turtle. Stuffed turtle? No, that's not right. Soft toy. Soft toy.
You get Turbo the tattoo? Nah, loves big huggers with Turbo.
So, without further ado, let's go. we're finding the best way to get around is using an app called Gojek. We'll talk about this more later, but it's pretty much Uber on steroids for anything you need over here.
First big day out filming with little one.
Off to see the turtles.
Woohoo! You excited?
Yeah. Turtles.
You don't really understand what's going on, do you? Just got to Sanur.
Beautiful day. Always. It's been sunny, 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 and the one thing that we booked in to go and do, well, it's only day that we can do it.
Yeah.
Beautiful, rainy, cloudy, wet, but the turtles will be worth it.
And while it doesn't look like it today, Sanur really is a beautiful, laid-back part of Bali, compared to the west anyway. The fishermen wade out into the water's shallows, and the long stretches of beaches and calm water are perfect for families. So we've come 45 minutes southeast of Sanur to take part in the monthly release of baby turtles. It's run by the local conservation centre in collaboration with these guys, the Genius Cafe in Sanur.
Our conservation is non-profit organization. Our main project is to helping and rescue the sea turtle because they are injured, and then we treat them until they are strong enough. We do release back into the sea. And also we are collecting the egg because some part of our beaches in Bali is too busy by the tourist activity, hotel activity. So we do relocate the egg and bring to our conservation, and we keep them until they are hatchling.
See, there's a turtle in there. See a little baby turtle? Yeah, it's very dark in colour, isn't it? He's got all that salt water in there. Yes. I know.
Gonna release some turtles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today we're releasing a species of sea turtle called the olive ridley. Whilst they're grey in colour now, they get their name from the colour which they will mature into, which is an olive shade of green. And here's a fun fact that we learned this morning. This species, whilst living as long as most sea turtles, which is 30 to 50 years, is one of the smallest. So leatherbacks will grow up to 2 meters. These guys, a mere 65 to 70 centimeters.
Keep swimming back in.
See, look, Naya, look at the turtle. Oh.
Going the wrong way.
Oh, look at them. They need to know where they're going.
That's very important. The reason we are releasing the turtle on the sand, because very important for our sea turtle to recording their magnet area. On the future, they will be used as a guide to return back to their nesting area. And after 20 or 30 years old, later they will be come back to the same beach to lay the egg.
Now, we weren't sure if we were meant to help the turtles, but it didn't seem like a lot of them would survive without a guiding hand in the right direction. Look, Naya, there's a little turtle here and we've got to help him. Yeah, turtle! Oh, they like you, Naya. See the little turtles. They're so cute. That one's Turbo, isn't he? He's so fast. So fast.
What do you think, little turtles? Hey, little miss?
Naya?
She says some are like turbo turtles, aren't they? Some are super duper fast, and some don't quite know which way they go. Yes, turtle! Turtle, yes!
Turtles, Naya. Well done, Naya. High five.
You released a turtle!
High five. Woohoo.
Hey, Nins.
What do you think? You see little turtles?
You saw lots of
little
baby
turtles?
turtles, didn't you?
I think we even heard Naya say turtle. Or maybe we just hear
We're
what we want
claiming
to
it
hear.
is our first word.
I don't know how many of them are going to survive. The guy said 1 in 1,000 survive in nature, and you can see why, because all the turtles just swim back to shore and try and beach themselves. But hopefully, when the tide comes back in, they'll all get washed out to sea. Won't they, Nini?
The turtles are all in the water now, darling.
Yeah.
You'll have to get back to playing with your cuddly toy.
Yeah.
Play?
No more little baby turtles.
No. And it's a collaboration between the Genius Cafe in Sanur and the Turtle Sanctuary. So I found it by, I think, a Google search, and then I popped on their Instagram page. It's actually not very well advertised. So go on the Genius Cafe Sanur Instagram page and you'll find out what the dates are.
And they do it once a month, so this was our one-ish chance to get there.
Yeah,
So
only in hatching season. So
Yeah.
May to October-ish, Aussie winter.
yeah, and very cool. So check it out, do it. Even on a rainy, cloudy day, still good fun.
Brekkie time?
Bit of food? Num-nums? Yeah, num-nums.
And of course, just as we finished brekkie and it was time to head home, the weather started to brighten up. You know, if we'd have had the choice to film today, we probably wouldn't have. It goes to show. The weather doesn't make or break an activity. We had a blast regardless. But that didn't stop us from making the most of the sun now shining when we got back home.
Woohoo!
So first things first, we are in Seminyak. Probably didn't say that yet.
No.
So last time we stayed down like Uluwatu, Jimbaran, which was really nice. That's down kind of the booty area at the bottom with really nice beaches and beautiful sand and so on. We made the conscious decision this time to come to Seminyak near Canggu because we wanted to be closer to where everything is happening, closer to shops, closer to supermarkets, gyms, everything, because we're obviously living here for an extended period, less of a holiday. We wanted to have all those facilities around.
Yes.
So the apartment we've got, last time we were in...
Beautiful villa. There was a main central living space with different bedrooms, all very separate, and then a huge pool. But we didn't have any aircon in the main living area because it was all outside. Which,
all open air. It was middle of kind of wet season-y time. So it was super hot and great when you get up early and get some work done. As you start getting throughout the day, it was quite uncomfortable to be working outside. So this time we've gone for an apartment because you have aircon, and if it does get really hot, you're not sweating and feeling horrible and trying to sit over a computer and get work done. And we've just gone through Airbnb. You do pay a bit more like you would in other countries. However, the comparative price, if you were comparing it to renting in Australia, especially Sydney, is pretty like for like, and I feel like you get a lot more. You get cleaners that come in 2-3 times a week, The pool's looked after, everything's done, and realistically you can just enjoy the space. When you factor in everything you get and a short-term rental or an Airbnb, it's actually very cost effective, especially for us who have no fixed address.
Yeah.
And how much are we paying a month?
3,500 Australian dollars per month.
Yep. And for that, we've got a 2-bedroom, living space,
2 bathroom,
nice pool, shared access with the one other apartment.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything you want.
Yeah, we're right in the heart of pretty much everything.
10-minute walk to the beach.
Yeah.
Daycare. We just dropped Naya off at daycare, which for us is a new thing that we've been doing because to date, for the last 10 months, we've kind of been around Naya 24/7. So
7 days a week.
7 days a week.
As all parents know, you don't get a lot of breaks.
It's a lot, yes.
So being on the road, we won't really have the opportunity for Naya to go to daycare. So being in Bali, we found quite a few different daycares. The one that Naya's going to is Umila's Kids Club. It's about 3 k's away, and we can drop her in. It's super flexible. Daycare in Australia is very much you've got to sign up to go for a whole term, and it's very expensive. Here, it's between $45 and $60 depending on the frequency at which she goes. It's an international school, so there's French kids and Singaporeans and Canadians and all sorts. Naya's going twice a week now at the moment, and she loves it. She absolutely loves it. They've got so many toys out in a big garden area. They've got sand pits. The teachers there are lovely, and from what I hear, obviously Naya hasn't been to an Australian daycare, but the teacher to pupil ratio is wild. There's so many teachers.
Yeah, there's a lot of staff.
Yeah.
And they she always gets the same lady as well.
Stenti,
who was always waiting for her at the front gate. And yeah, she loves it. And for us, obviously, traveling with Naya, we thought it was super important to have her around other kids as she grows up because, at the moment, she's not getting that kind of schooling early.
Yeah, the socializing. To share toys. And every time she comes back from school, I get a full school report on how happy she was, what games she played, what food she ate, how many times they changed her nappy. So I know she's being really well taken care of, and she's beaming. She's had the best day ever.
Yeah. And the comparison there would be, say, $50-$60 for a day in daycare here, or a nanny to come to your house, which can be even cheaper. Compared to Australia, you're paying at least $100 a day, possibly more, most likely more, talking to friends in Sydney. So you can do daycare here, very cost effective, and gives us back a little bit of headspace to get things done, because for the last 10 months, we've been pretty much constantly looking after Naya. So it's nice to have 2 to 3 days a week of a bit of headspace to get some work done and so on. So daycare in Bali, pretty bloody amazing, if I'm being honest.
Nice, even if you come in for just a week or two, you could have a day to yourself.
Oh yeah, holiday mode, get a nanny in, and they just give you that uplift that you're not constantly, especially with a young 10-month-year-old, you're constantly trying to stop them killing themselves, or climbing on things or falling off things. So having someone else just to keep eyes on her, eyes on her, eyes on your child, not on it, whilst you have a shower or swim or anything like that, or go to the gym, is honestly a godsend. So whilst being here, we've signed up to a gym, which is also like a health spa and a pool, sauna, cold plunge, steam room.
A cafe, a bar, a co-working space.
Little bakery.
Yoga, Pilates.
Yeah, you get massages, all that sort of stuff. And that's cost us about $100 to $120 for a month. So probably more than you'd pay in Australia for a gym or England for a gym. But you do get a lot more, and it is really nice going there.
It's really nice. It makes going to the gym a really nice experience, because if you don't just want to pump weights, you can go and pump your weights and do your stuff that you need to do, and then you go relax, have a sauna and a cold plunge afterwards.
Yeah, we've been doing cold plunges almost every time. I'm up to like 10-15 minute cold plunge, about 12 to 13 degrees, and you sit in there and then you come out feeling refreshed. Haven't really done cold ice baths or anything before, but loving that, especially in the heat here, that you can do a gym session, jump in that, walk out feeling cool and refreshed. So yeah, you'll pay a little bit more for it, but you get a lot more. So food shops.
Yes, multiple ways of doing them. Obviously, the first one is traditional. You go to the supermarket. Supermarkets here aren't quite the same as they are back home. They're not as large. There's loads. Pretty much every corner has a form of a supermarket. More like a convenience store or slightly larger.
We have tried a few. You have smaller supermarkets like Pepitos or Bintang, fresh fruit and veg, very cost effective, pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Chicken, eggs, still not too bad. Then when you start getting things like salmon, red meat, prices obviously go up. You've always got to adapt to what the local thing is, and we could just keep buying things we normally would and paying a premium, but we really like to buy things like dragon fruit and...
Salak, I think it's called, the dragon egg fruit.
Yeah. That
tastes like pineapple, but it's got a beautiful outer skin.
Yeah, they honestly look like dragon eggs from Game of Thrones, just a lot smaller.
Yeah.
And they're kind of like a pineapple-y fruit.
Yeah.
But
quite fibrous.
And then dragon fruit and watermelon and all those sort of things, amazing. We've been buying them every time we go, putting them in the freezer and then chopping them open and just having them out of the kind of like bowl that it makes with the skin.
Frozen dragon fruit, eh?
The only caveat to that, certain things that are very expensive that we still buy because we can't live without, is dark chocolate, or just chocolate in general, mainly dark chocolate actually. You're paying $8 for a block of Lindt, or even the local stuff is still pretty expensive, $4 or $5 for a small block. So that's something we still buy, but be mindful, if you're packing a suitcase, maybe bring some chocolate with you, because it is worth your while.
And your sun cream.
Sunscreen, also very expensive, probably because the locals don't need it. It's only pale European skin that needs it. And we're using a company called Island Organics, which deliver fresh produce, organic fresh produce that they have pulled off various farms to your door, whatever frequency you want, once a week. And you kind of get a mixed bag of whatever is in season and available in the local farms, which we're really liking. We've been doing that once or twice a week and getting a bunch of fresh fruit and veg. The only downside is lack of control as to what you're getting, but sometimes that's also quite a fun thing because you then make food with whatever you have and kind of flex that cooking muscle and forced to make different types of food.
And it's affordable.
Yeah, so the Island Organics is about $30 delivered to your door, and you get a ton of fresh fruit and veg, and you're getting a lot more fresh fruit and veg that is from the island, which is always nice because when we're in a country, we like to kind of eat what you would get here rather than trying to keep eating what we could get in Australia, because what's the point coming to a completely different country culture and just eating what you would at home. So yeah, if you're doing your food shop, plenty of little supermarkets, bit restricted on what you can buy. Some things are very expensive, others not so bad, especially if you're buying local. And you can do Island Organics or another company that will do a big fresh fruit and veg basket delivered to your door. And that's kind of how we've been navigating getting supplies for a couple of months stay here living in Bali.
There is one other way. You can ask someone to go to the grocery store for you and they'll come back on a scooter with your groceries. So you only pay exactly what it costs and they will give you a receipt, and they'll be walking around the supermarket and they'll take photos. You pay in cash when they bring it to you, and the fees I've been paying is about $1 to $2 for someone to do that for you. And when you are navigating traffic or you've got an eye asleep and you just can't get out quickly, that's been a really big help too.
Yeah, if you just need a couple of things but don't want to do a big shop and you've got a little one, which does make everything more difficult, you can quite literally get someone to do it for you. And that's one of the major benefits of Bali, is the cost of things that involve service. So taxis, moped bikes, getting someone to do shopping, cleaners, all that sort of stuff. Daycare nannies, which does make a lot of difference compared to Australia. So that's all done through an app called Gojek, and that's kind of their version of Uber, but Uber doesn't exist over here, and it works really well in terms of ordering food, shopping, taxis, and if you're getting a taxi via Gojek or a Go Bike, which is the little moped scooters, and you sit on the back and they drive you everywhere, that'll cost a couple of bucks to go half an hour distance. Now, half an hour distance isn't as far as it would be in Australia, purely because the roads are so small and you're not going very fast, but you're talking a couple of dollars. With the app, you can see how much it's going to cost. It's all billed through there. You never get asked more money. You can tip at the end if you want to. We often do with a bit of cash because it goes straight to the driver. But you're never getting in that kind of uncomfortable situation for us who don't love haggling, of having to haggle at the end. A couple of times I've jumped on the back of a Go Bike or in a taxi based on going, because they're constantly going past you and they're going bike, taxi, and they're offering to take you places. And if you jump in, they often will be quite obfuscative on the price and so on. And
work it out at the end.
Yeah, work it out, and you're trying to get a price off them and they won't give you one. And by that point, it's too late because you're on the back of it or in the car. And then when you get there, then they kind of make up a price. After the haggling down, I think he charged me $10 and kind of haggled him down to $6 or $7, which I didn't think was bad coming from Australia. That's what you would think it would cost. However, on the way back, I did the Gojek through the app and it cost me $1.20. So there's about a seven times markup. And if you don't want to get in that uncomfortable situation where you're kind of going, that's too much, or having to haggle, which I don't often do, so I end up just paying close to what it is. So download the app. It'll save you a bunch of time, especially leaving the airport. Get the app straight away. Order a Gojek. Don't even entertain the idea of trying to find a driver. Ordering food from Gojek food. You can get dinner. Like if you're going to do Western food, it's pretty much a bit cheaper than Australia, but you're kind of paying Australian prices. However, if you get your food from one of the local warangs or anything local, so mi goreng, nasi goreng, dinner and leftovers, whole Peking chicken, mi goreng and so on, they were like $2 or $3 and that's delivered right to your door, fresh, hot, everything. And you'll get enough food and most likely leftovers. However, Western food, there's definitely
Regularly Western prices.
The only exception to that is the local cafes. We've got one just behind us here, which is called Basil Kitchen. You can go down and get your smashed avocado, eggs, sourdough, all that sort of stuff. And that's like $5.
Yeah.
So brekkie is really cheap for some reason. So you can live here very, very cheaply. But if you want to just live the same way you would in Australia, a lot of those things are going to cost you about the same. You're living here for a long time and you're budget conscious and you just don't want to overspend. Definitely look into Go Food and do one of the local warangs and eat what the locals do. Because if you do that, you're going to pay close to local prices for the food. It is a bit of a culture shock when you first get here. The first thing you'll notice is there's quite a lot of rubbish on the sides of the roads and in waterways and so on, which originally was a bit of a shock for me.
Yeah.
However, after a while, that becomes less of an issue and you almost stop noticing it.
You do get used to all the rubbish. I must admit, the first time I saw it was quite shocking because it's everywhere. But when you understand the problem, and I think I do, lack of taxes, lack of infrastructure, lack of government picking up the rubbish. Makes sense. I've been following a group on Instagram called Sungai Watch. They build trash barriers, chuck them in the rivers, collect the trash, turn it into beautiful pieces of furniture. And they did an interview with a group of locals who said, they have to put their trash on beaches and hope that the ocean washes it away. And if they don't do that, if they don't live near a waterway, then they burn it.
Berarti ibu sekarang setiap hari buang sampah ke sini?
Ya, saya akan buang di sana kalau sana betulin cap rumah saya.
Which is not good for turtles or any marine life, because whether it's ending up in the waterways or whether it's being burnt, it's all getting in there somehow.
The second part of that is sidewalks.
Yeah.
Unless you're in a major kind of urban area and it's, even then you'll have sidewalk and then it will stop.
And then there'll be a massive pothole.
Yeah.
So don't be on your phone when you're walking around. Whenever I walk with Naya, I'm just focused on where I'm putting my feet.
Being from Western countries, you're probably used to doing a little bit more walking between places, especially when it's only 10 minutes down the road. Bali doesn't have many sidewalks, especially when you get away from like the big urban touristy spots. And when I say it doesn't have many, pretty much non-existent, and you'll have a very skinny road and then a massive storm drain for when the wet season and it's flooding on one side, and you've got cars going past you very close and constantly asking you if you want to lift because it's so weird for them to see you walking. You've just got to, mentally, you've got to get used to the fact that
people might give you funny looks.
You're constantly getting beeped at saying like, you want to lift. And you just feel weird walking on place because you feel like you shouldn't be on it. Because if this was another country, you'd be like, oh, where am I meant to walk? This doesn't feel like I should be walking on the road.
Yeah, particularly when there is a lot of traffic and you walk down a sidewalk and then scooters come up the pavement towards you because they're trying to undercut the traffic.
Okay, next trivia question. Do you know what a Balinese traffic light looks like?
Wasn't on our list, but laundry, quite cost effective and always nice even if you're just coming on holiday. Do your laundry here before you go home. You pay by the kilo, so we've done about 5 kilos each time and it's come to $7.50. And it comes beautifully folded back in a package. It can be delivered to your door and picked up if you want it to be. And it's super easy, it smells beautiful, and who doesn't want their laundry done?
Yeah, and it's not that we're just being lazy, although we would probably take
Sounds lazy.
Anyway. There is no washer or dryer in a lot of these.
Good point.
A lot of these rentals, it's just not something that you have, right? It's very basic on that, and that's probably because it's so cheap and easy to do it everywhere. And there's literally a laundromat right out the front of this place that does it for us. The overall takeaway so far from Bali is things like daycare and getting food delivered and laundry and gyms and so on. Anything you need to do here is actually very easy and cost effective. So overall, living in Bali is actually a lot less stressful, even though it can feel quite hectic with the roads and the weaving of traffic.
How it all works.
Yeah.
It feels less stressful than when you first arrive.
Once you get past the culture shocks and the fact that it is so radically different, you actually realize that everything here is so much better.
We're moving to Bali.
Oh, I would definitely live here. Once, I think when you come on a holiday, you probably don't have enough time, within a week to really get.
Particularly if you stay in a resort. If you're in a resort, you're probably not even getting a Gojek or ordering food or walking down a high street or going to a gym. But if you do immerse yourself and, live like a local, it's a beautiful place and everyone is so friendly.
Yeah.
The Balinese people are beautiful.
Especially with kids.
Yeah.
They love kids and families and so on. So there has not been anywhere we've gone with Naya where the Indonesian and Balinese people haven't just swooned over and made you feel so welcome and offered to look after and hug her and so on and entertain her. So for kids and living and budget and so on, so far, loving Bali. Could definitely see ourselves living here for just lifestyle. Lifestyle is amazing. Once you get past those first kind of culture shocks, lifestyle is amazing. So enough about tips, tricks, and just things we've learned. Hopefully that's given you an understanding of what things cost, how to do it, and you don't have to learn all these things from scratch like we did. Unless you enjoy that, then go for it.
Dear Diary, today I'm feeling the most settled that I have in the last 18 months. After all the delays with the truck, the constant moving from family to house sitting gigs, this place, Bali, feels right. It's the most at home I've felt in such a long time. Life here is easy. The warmth of the people, the friendliness of strangers, the smiles that greet us, that greet Naya, wherever we go. After 4 years on the road, without a community around us, it's the comfort I hadn't realised I was missing. There is still so much that we don't know. We don't have a clear timeline on when the truck will be ready, or even when we'll head back to Europe. And I hate living in flux, not being able to plan ahead, unpacking and repacking suitcases, and the admin. But I'm doing my best to be okay with it all, making peace with living in the unknown, realizing that the three of us together is all that matters. Life is where we are, and it's happening now.
And as always, thank you for watching, guys, and for getting to the end. Join us next week as we head out to the absolutely stunning island of Nusa Penida and get up to some pretty cool activities.